The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray, feeling good, Lewis. We're going to take a quick look at the DAX and the FTSE. They're not doing very much compared to what we're doing here. We made a new high in the S&P overnight than the previous high we made a few days ago, up there at 3717. NASDAQ is still leading the pack along with the Russell. A lot of resistance at that 3712 area, in my humble opinion. But let's move on to the thing. By the way, there's something very important that's happening this at the end of this year. Carolyn Broden, the queen of Fibonacci, she works with John Carter, I believe, and she's been a guest on the Jim Cramer show and stuff. She was a runner for Byron Tucker when I first was on the floor there at 82 in 1982, and we became friends, and I taught her about Fibonacci, and she made a career out of it. She's done a great job, too. She's done a terrific job. Anyway, let's go back to what Mr. Twentyman was talking about yesterday. Lots of questions about this. This is the Twentyman line that I've been posting in coffee for a very, very long time. You notice the high in December, the high in March, and how it crosses down to the low. That is a perfect Twentyman line. It crosses, and if you looked at it really closely, folks, and this is why it's so important and why these harmonic numbers, if you take the low that we made in June up to where the Twentyman line crosses, and then add that to the top, and there's your top. That splits your ABCD in half. And it basically shows the harmony of the market. But you've got to get 2 points to cross to touch the other one. They got to be very, very close. Now, JT sent me a couple of them yesterday, just to show you examples of what we were looking at. This happens to be the gold market. Let's get this up here so the folks can take a look at it. We'll just get it here for a second here. You'll notice that from the high that we made up there, the market broke down, and you can see we went down and came within just about $2 of the Twentyman line. And of course, we're rallying today. We're up to the 1895 level, which is the retracement going back from 1960. We start closing above 1900, folks, and this puppy is off to the races. I'm not sure if the race has started yet or not, but we'll have to wait and see. I had a question this morning from one of our listeners, and I said, okay, I'll tell you what I would do if I were you. And he asked me, he said he wanted to buy silver really bad. He said he couldn't stand it anymore, and because he had heard about all the stuff. I'll do my best on the platinum, Terry. In fact, I will do it. Just a second here. But here's what platinum was doing. This was early this morning. You notice it made a high of 26.13.5. That equaled the high that we made 4 months ago, or 3 months ago. Okay, the market came down, and then it finally broke through there. And I said, if you're going to buy it when it breaks out, you buy it at the breakout, which would be 26.14. The previous high was 26.13. It went up to 26.22, and I said, you have to place a stop somewhere in here because these things have a tendency to reverse right away. And I told him, I said, if you want to listen to me, I said, I'm flat out risk reverse. So, if you're gonna do this, you're gonna probably have to, dance with the princess a few times in that frog pond before you're gonna get it right. That's the only way I can do it, because you want to buy it here and put a stop at 25.80. You're talking, $2,000. That's a lot of Jamocha, folks. Don't want to do that. So here's what's happening here. So here's what we were looking. I followed this all the way through. This is I'm just going to show you the breakout stuff that people work with. And this is just a 5-minute chart. You can see we went up to 1622. Now you see over on the right side there, that little hash mark there, that's 2608. So between 2614 and 2608 is 6 cents. Okay, and so he's risking $300 in a contract that's worth a little over 130 grand. So that's a very, very low risk for this. Now, it might not work, and it hasn't, and I'll tell you why. Because we've already dropped below that. If you look at the structure here, just get it right up to see it, we come down and we did hit the stop level. I'm just going to get it up here to show you how often these things work. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So we did get down there, and basically, so that was a $300. Now, you made the ABCD from 5:30 in the morning, and of course, we'll probably go crashing above or skyrocketing above 26.22 at any moment, but we'll have to watch it. We hit the 78% level in the gold today at 95, I believe, 1895. So I'm not going to chase these up in here, but that's pretty much what I'm looking at right here. So that's what I'm paying attention to. And now we've been asked to take a look at the flow platinum, and let me get this up here. Only take a second here. Hold on 1 second. We'll get the old platinum up here. I'm extremely bullish long-term in platinum, but short-term, maybe not so much. Let's get the platinum up here. We'll do a 4 hour so we can see where we are. Oh, see, it's reversed already. Son of a gun. I was hoping it would get a little bit higher than that before reversing, but let's just see here where we are. Wow, we went up to the 78. Oh, let me put this in here so you guys can see it too. So we had a little revert. We're actually down on the day on platinum now, I think. Yeah, I guess we are. We certainly are. It looks like anyway. Anyway, that's what I'm seeing here for what it's worth. So I'm not a very good, breakout type trader. So keep an eye on it. By the way, on the S&P, we were looking at these numbers. We believe there's a lot of resistance. I know we went above 37.12 a couple of times over the past couple of days, but we still think there's a great deal of resistance at that 37.12 level. The NASDAQ is in la-la land. It's just it just keeps going and going and going. And the part of this, when you're watching the NASDAQ, folks, you're only watching 10 stocks. And if we watch the biggest of the 10 stocks, which is none other than our good friend Apple. Let's get this up here. Where is it? I put this chart up here somewhere. There we go. Get the Apple chart up. Here's Apple over the past 2 months. You'll be able to see it's a perfect example of Fibonacci numbers and ABCD. It measures to 27.31, which a little about $1 ahead of that right now. We made a 61% pullback on Thanksgiving. We talked about that several times. On that day, I remember that, and so it was very important to watch that. And we went all the way up, and that's not much. It was up, 8, 9, 10%. That's nothing for Apple. But you can see here that they follows the numbers. Look at the expansion numbers, the square root of 2, 1618, the 382 retracement we had here on the 10th. And now we're getting ready to complete this big ABCD up here in Apple, the most actively traded stock in the world. Another interesting thing last night, folks, we got above, broke the old highs in the crude oil, telling it's probably going to go a little bit higher into that 49 area. We're going to have Tim Bost on at the break. He's going to be talking to us about the Bitcoin, and we'll bring that up for just a second here to show you that we are looking at Bitcoin this morning at 23,000. This was early this morning, 23,000 and change, folks, 23,900 in the bit. So that rules out any thing that it was a tulip bulb, and we never thought it was a tulip bulb ever. And John Jameson's looking for 55,000 on that stock. Okay, let's move on here. 877-927-6648.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, Taz understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the Taz Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the Taz Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
Hi folks, this is Tom O'Brien. Do you have broken or unwanted jewelry, diamonds, watches, coins, silverware, and other collectibles that you would like to turn into cash? Tiger Precious Metals and Stones will pay fair market value. We make it easy to turn your precious metals that are sitting around in your house into cash. Call Andy now at 727-329-8245 and he will walk you through our safe and secure process. Andy has been in the business buying and selling precious metals for over 15 years. Call Andy now at 727-329-8245.
TFNN has just launched our Tiger Dollar Holiday Sale. For a limited time, we've doubled all the Tiger Dollar bonuses, where you can now get up to a 20, 30, or even a 40% bonus on your Tiger Dollar purchase. Tiger Dollars are good for all TFNN newsletters, webinars, and services and never expire. Whether you're a current subscriber or just thinking of signing up for any TFNN products in the future, this is a great time to get your Tiger Dollars. Happy holidays from all of us at TFNN.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, folks, we're going to take a look at the Treasury bonds. I posted a Gartley pattern here over the last 10 days. You can see here a couple days ago, actually on Monday, we had made the ABCD pattern, tad below the 61% retracement, stopped at 707, which is the reciprocal of square root of 2. And so what we're looking at now is if we are looking at something that is getting ready to have a little bit more of a rally. Chairman Powell came on and told us that we are going to zero interest rates through 2023, basically is what he said. And the Chinese came out with 140 billion renminbi negative bonds, and it was oversubscribed. So evidently that's where it's going, folks. But I'll tell you what, they'll leave that train without me. Won't have to worry about that puppy at all. But let me talk to you just a little bit about something. This is going to be a quiz, folks. I want to see if you can get this right. You got to bear with me. Here in the den, I want you to give me what is the most biggest thing in the news right now, folks? What is the most biggest thing in the news? What's going on in the news more than anything else? Forget the politics. What's going on in the news? Come on, give me some answers. You got to help me out here. You know, come on, give me an. Boy, you guys are slower than. Yeah, it's the big C. It's the virus, the vaccines, right? Sure it is. You got it. It's the vaccine. It's on every channel, everywhere. So let's not beware. All right, let's take a look at the old stop of old Fizzer here. Not to be skeptic or anything like this, but here you got the most bullish stock you could ever ask for as far as the news. And when you got up there at the top, guess who was selling a few weeks ago at $42 a share? None other than the chairman of the board. He sold 61% of all of his stock. Look at the bullish news that we've had going in the stock. The best vaccine since Jonas Salk. Extremely bullish news. The whole world needs it. I mean, my God, you're talking about 7.3 billion people need this stuff. And look at the price of the stock. How could that be falling? I know the news follows the trend, but my goodness, I mean, there got to be something there. I don't know. Just my 2 cents worth. Someone asked me that question. That's why I brought it up. I don't trade Pfizer stock. I never have traded Pfizer. And so that's 10-4 of what I'm looking at here. So it's just a question. Now, probably when the news gets really bad, it'll probably rally into new high. But right now, it's certainly not following what the what do you call it? The news is as far as the let's get talking here a minute. As far as the news is, saying how wonderful everything is, and we're going to be all cured and everything, which I certainly hope we do. But in fact, we haven't. Let's talk a little bit about the U.S. dollar index, folks. We've broken badly below those numbers that we were watching for quite some time. I think I should post that up here so you folks can see it here. Give me 1 second here to do this, and I got to put this up here. Just bear with me a minute here. It takes me a little bit of time here to pull this up there. We come up here. We have had a really big break now. We've broken down below the 1.618 level here, which is that's a really bad sign. And we said once it went below that 120 level, that it was really in bad shape. And the reason for that is if you look at the long-term weekly chart, what you're looking at here is a market that is really heading down towards the 78% level. You can see those boxes. We've been harping about that for quite some time. And so this is what we're looking at. We're going to be coming down either to a double bottom there from 2018 at 88.25. We're only $1.50 away. So that would set the euro going to about 123.5, I believe. And we'll see how the rest of these move up, and we'll do one thing at a time. But that's what we're looking at in the U.S. dollar. It is breaking badly, which is strange because, if the dollar is breaking badly, this means that people can buy the dollar and buy cheap goods, converting them into dollars. Our products are going to be offered a lot cheaper, including the Treasury bonds. So those are things that you got to consider when you're going through some of this stuff. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, let's move on to one other question that someone asked, and I'll try to answer the best I can here. And see those F-35s, those planes have a lot of trouble. So I'm not really concerned too much about what's going on with that. We'll have to let and see what's going on. Here's one that's very interesting too, folks, that is right up against some big ABCD stuff, and that is this copper. We've been watching this copper quite a bit. You'll notice we hit the 382 there on Tuesday. We had a big break. We went from 56 all the way down to 51, dropped a nickel. Then we made the ABCD, dropped another nickel down to 354, made the perfect ABC up there at 360.5. I believe that's where it is right now, completing the ABCD. But we've already done the long-term chart on this. I don't want to spend any more time with that because, we're just repeating over and over again. And this show gets a little boring for you, and I don't want it to make it any more boring than it already is. So let's move on to something else. Question about hyperinflation. Folks, there's no signs of it on the horizon right now, but that doesn't mean that it can't pop up. I mean, the Federal Reserve is between a rock and a hard place. The money has been expanding since 2009, like, Helicopter Ben would never even predicted this much. But, there's got to be a spot sometime in the future, and maybe it's now. Maybe that's why the U.S. dollar is dropping so much, is the other people in the world are saying, hey, look, we're tired of buying these bonds and seeing them go down. But they haven't been buying our bonds, folks. The Treasury's been buying our bonds. China quit buying them a long time ago. So the money is getting like Japan. We're self-destructing would be the word I would be saying back in the old days, but it doesn't count that way anymore because the money supply is not figured actually the same way. All right. Now, someone asked a question. I missed a question in there. But if you have any questions, folks, it's 877-927-6648. We'll have Tim Bost on in a minute here to look at it. But someone asked me another question. About short selling. How hard is it to short sell? Folks, if you short sell, your broker has to own the stock. and then you borrow it from the broker. Let's say you have you want to sell 100 shares of Apple. If he's got it in his inventory and he's got permission to short it, which he almost does if it's in his inventory, you can short that stock, and then if it goes down in price, you cover it and you make a profit. If it goes above the price that you shorted it, you have to make up that difference. So if you sell Apple at 128 and it goes to 130, you're going to owe him $200. If it goes from 128 to 126, he owes you $200. That's basically it. Just remember the words of Daniel Drew when he was talking to Commander Vanderbilt many, many years ago, and he said to him, "He that sells what isn't his'n must buy it back or go to prison." The words of Jesse Livermore in Reminiscences of a Stock Operator, book that everybody should have. We're going to have the boss man from Bradenton, Florida, coming on the line here pretty quick, and Financial Cycles Weekly, and he does some great work. He's going to be talking to us about the bit and a few other things that are coming up. And also he's going to talk to us about this big cycles that are coming here between the 14th and the 21st of December, which is only 4 days away. And that'll be fun to look at also. So when we get right back, we are going to be able to talk to Tim Bost, 877-927-6648.
Larry Pesavento watches the markets 24/7, and now is a great time to try out his daily trading service, Fibonacci 24/7. Larry publishes videos and charts for subscribers throughout the week when warranted, and every weekend he puts out a thorough report covering worldwide markets, futures, commodities, and currencies with Fibonacci retracement levels, possible trading setups and zones, and stops and targets for all recommendations included. Larry applies the principles he's developed over decades of trading while analyzing a variety of markets for subscribers. To see for yourself the types of videos, charts, and analysis that Larry provides for his subscribers, sign up for Fibonacci 24/7 today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. You'll also gain instant access to Larry's archived subscriber webinar from earlier this year. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today. If you're a trader in the market looking to find the path that leads to maximizing profits while decreasing risk, then now is a great time to try out Dave White's daily trading service, The Path of Least Resistance. Through the use of options and equity trades, Dave advises his subscribers on a daily basis of the current market conditions and what possible trade setups are on the horizon. The Path of Least Resistance is published every trading morning, often with updates intraday when initiating trades or closing out positions. Dave White has advised his clients of some outstanding winning options and equity trades in recent months, and now is a great time to try it out for yourself. New subscribers to the Path of Least Resistance receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the types of options and equity trades that are available by signing up for the Path of Least Resistance today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com and selecting the newsletter tab. Sign up today. TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, folks, we're talking to Tim Bost, I hope, from Bradenton, Florida, Financial Cycles Weekly. Tim, are you there?
I am indeed, and you hoped well, sir.
Well, what a lucky guess. Listen, happy holidays to you and your bride, and thanks for joining me with us today. Tell us the story of the bit. We're almost at 24,000, up 12%.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing here, and actually we need to celebrate this today because this happens to be the third anniversary of the previous all-time high in Bitcoin, which was on December 17th in 2017, and we've been trying to break through that resistance ever since and have succeeded in doing so as of yesterday. So that's a very, very bullish signal. And the market is responding, I guess, appropriately or maniacally, whatever is the right terminology for it. We've got a chart here in which we're looking at things from a little bit longer term perspective, going back to late 2016, I think it is, and we noted here the date. Over on the left there of March the 27th of 2017. Bitcoin was trading then at $991.01. And so that was kind of the base for the big move upward that went parabolic. And, of course, by the end of the year, on the 17th of December in 2017, we had a high there of $19,783.06. Which has been inviolable ever since until this week. So we've had a couple of moves down and it's a well-established market, let's put it that way, at least until we got to earlier this year and began to see this straight up movement once again, and that's what's been going on here. I can't keep up with the chart, fast enough here to update things. As I was working on this, I had to revise my numbers earlier this morning, and we're hopelessly out of date, with all of this right now in terms of the current price here. Let's see. Looks like we're at about $23,100 right now. So wow. It's a pretty amazing kind of dynamic. What we're looking at here with the charting on this is a set of planetary price lines that we began working with earlier this year, and they seem to have a pretty good descriptive dynamic with Bitcoin. We're looking at the planetary price lines for Mars and the trans-Neptunian factor Kronos, geocentrically from the Earth's perspective, and we're doing that in the fourth harmonic and projecting the lines on the chart here. So you can see those darker red diagonal lines cutting through the chart. Those are the first harmonic Mars lines, and the horizontal lines then are the trans-Neptunian factor Kronos. If you'll notice on the lower left-hand side of the chart, Kronos had really defined the trading range for Bitcoin for several years prior to its big move upward, and so it likes Kronos a lot. I'm not quite sure why, but that seemed to work pretty well. And then that middle line horizontally through the chart, the darker purple line, is the first harmonic Kronos dynamic, which has proven to be pretty significant over the last few years in terms of defining key support and resistance zones. So what we were looking for was to break through the current Kronos level. It almost did that 3 years ago, and it did, in fact, do that over the last day or so here. So that's what we're looking at. Now, looking at this at a little...
Tim, 1 second, Tim. You said you were looking at 23,730. That's about what it hit today, wasn't it?
Yeah, we're getting very, very close to that. It's already, right now it's about 23,100. And that 23,730 would be the eighth harmonic projection of the Kronos line. I was identifying that naively, thinking that, that's going to be a good solid resistance zone there. So we may shatter that today and have to recalibrate everything here. So we're looking for that on a short-term basis.
Hey, Tim, my eyes have gone bad. You're looking for a price target of $101,246 per coin?
I thought I'd throw that up there to see if you noticed, Larry.
Yeah. Well, I don't have any of it, but I'm looking at that's just that's five times from where we are right now, Bob, or 4 times from where we are right now.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's exactly what happened in 2017. We were trading right around $1,000, and it went up to almost $20,000 in the course of that year. So this, and proportionally, this is what the same kind of move would ultimately look like here. So I don't know if that's within reason or not, but what the hell is reasonable about this market anyway?
Yes, is that the truth? My goodness.
So, we could be dealing in tulip bulbs instead, maybe. I don't know. But it's interesting.
Well, they thought they were tulip bulbs back in January of 2018 when it was at 19,900. It went down to 3,100, and now we're back to 33,000. I mean, it wasn't acting like a tulip bulb. Tulip bulbs, would take you down to darn near zero, and 3,100 is not zero per coin. I mean, that's
exactly. We found some support there.
Yeah.
So there's we can debate the intrinsic value all day long, but it's a very, very interesting phenomenon here, and certainly we're seeing, from a fundamental perspective, much wider acceptance of it as a medium of exchange, in addition to the speculative dynamics associated with it. But one of the things that we've been noticing here with this Mars dynamic with Bitcoin is the fact that we recently had a Mars retrograde period. This occurs every couple of years, and we have backtested this. It does not appear to be significant overall in the history of Bitcoin so far, but this time around, it's interesting that we had that Mars retrograde station that occurred on the 9th of September, and Bitcoin was in the process of testing support on a Chronos line at that time, and then when Mars went direct on the 13th of November, we began to see that move upward and an acceleration in price at that point. So what we're looking at is that Mars will come back to its retrograde station point, retrograde return. That won't happen until the 2nd of January. So I'm kind of targeting that date as a time to take another look at all of this and reevaluate. We may see a resistance zone being hit around that time. But I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot more upside and enthusiasm in the meantime, based on what we're seeing going on right now.
Yeah. When I used to look at those old charts of Gann back when Jimmy Twentyman and I worked together real closely, every day. But the Gann had on his charts, he had the only 2 symbols he had astrologically were Mercury and Mars. Those are the ones that he was watching when he was trading the markets, whatever he was doing. And he was a master astrologer, supposedly, but I don't know too much about that kind of stuff. But we've got some major stuff coming up here next week, don't we? We're going to talk about that after the break. That was one of the reasons why I asked you to come on, is to talk to us about this stuff that's been going on from the 14th to the 21st that you alerted to us well over 6 weeks ago. So I wrote that down to have you back. So thanks for being here. Well, here we are. Yeah, we get to dance with the girl that brought us here. So we're going to do that. We'll pay a few bills here. And if you have any questions, folks, it's 877-927-6648. Be patient because the board is lit up right now, but we'll get you in as soon as we can.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. The printing presses are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The U.S. deficit has risen 200% in 1 year with no end in sight. The markets are looking for an additional stimulus bill to get us through this once-in-a-generation pandemic. There is no free lunch, folks. The more stimulus dollars put into the marketplace, the less your dollar is worth each and every day. This is the time to protect yourself with a portion of your portfolio in the metal market. The Gold Report comes out each Monday morning. I bisect and dissect the dollar, silver, gold, the XAU, and the HUI. The Gold Report is a long-term hedge against the dilution of your buying power. The U.S. has put more than $6 trillion into the marketplace in the last 6 months, with more expected in the next few months. The market did and does need the stimulus, but it will have long-term implications on our buying power. The Gold Report comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to TFNN.com and order the Gold Report now. Protect your buying power. Order the Gold Report now.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Hi folks, this is Tom O'Brien. Are you looking to buy or sell gold, silver, platinum, coins, or bullion? We can help. At Tiger Precious Metals and Stones, we specialize in the buying and selling of gold, silver, as well as collectible U.S. and foreign coins. We not only buy your unwanted or broken jewelry, but you can trade that in for gold and silver coins too. Call Andy now at 727-329-8245 for a quote over the phone and to lock in the current market price. Call us now at 727-329-8245.
TFNN has just launched our Tiger Dollar Holiday Sale. For a limited time, we've doubled all the Tiger Dollar bonuses, where you can now get up to a 20, 30, or even a 40% bonus on your Tiger Dollar purchase. Tiger Dollars are good for all TFNN newsletters, webinars, and services and never expire. Whether you're a current subscriber or just thinking of signing up for any TFNN products in the future, this is a great time to get your Tiger Dollars. Happy holidays from all of us at TFNN.
The Bull Bear Trading Hour with Tom and Tommy O'Brien. Next.
Okay, we're back, folks. We're talking with Tim Bost out of Bradenton, Florida, Financial Cycles Weekly. Tim, we've got some big Gann stuff coming up. Gann was one of the premier technical guys back in the, or from the early 1900s up until when he passed away, 1954. So what is it that you're seeing here that is so very important?
Well, Gann worked with a lot of factors. One of the things, let me forward here to this point. We got a major Gann date coming up at the start of next week. One of the things that Gann paid attention to on a regular basis with his calendar work was the beginning date of the seasons of the year. And we call this the solar ingress into the cardinal signs of the zodiac. And it's a very, very powerful dynamic. So that we get these dates coming up in every December, March, June, and September. And so we kind of look at those quarters of the year as a part of the Gann philosophy. But coming up here on December 21st, we have the winter solstice. At least here in the northern hemisphere, it's the winter solstice. For our friends down under, it's the summer solstice. But it is the movement of the sun into the sign of Capricorn. And this is a significant point. And many times we see this associated with a little bit of a Christmas rally, a Santa Claus rally, that kind of thing, because of this consistent date. It's either the 20th or 21st of December each year. Then on top of that, we've got an additional phenomenon occurring, which is the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, and that is the culmination of a 20-year cycle. So let's kind of dig into each of these for a little bit here, because Gann really worked with both of these in different frames of reference. And the ingress cycle, the solar Capricorn ingress, which is coming up on Monday, we back-tested that with the S&P, and this is what the chart looks like typically. There's a little bit of congestion prior to that and a pretty solid upward run coming out of that. So based on our back-testing here, we can say that from next Monday, on the 21st, we've got about a 79% probability of the price of the S&P going up by around 1.5% by the 7th of January. With a lot of holiday time chopping all that up, and it's a little confusing to try to forecast. But what our chart is showing here is calendar days and not market days or trading days. So it gives us a little clearer picture when we're trying to do our forecasting over a holiday season with times when the markets are closed and so forth. So this is what our outlook is then, is a bullish expectation as we move into the closing week or two of this trading year, and really the first week of the new year as well. Now, the 7th of January will come on, what is that, a Thursday. And so we may see a little bit of price consolidation coming in out of that at the end of that trading week, and then a continuation of a bullish tendency, at least through the middle of January is what we're looking at with that. So this is the kind of thing that Gann liked to look at on a year-to-year basis, and he could then work with these as sort of critical anniversary dates, but also big pivot points in terms of the financial astrology that he was applying to his market analysis. He used a lot of different tools, and this was one of them.
Tim, I have a question.
Okay.
January the 7th is a Thursday. Could you mark that on your calendar? Maybe you could be on to talk to us about
we can make that happen, sir.
And if you've been wrong, we're going to throw some rotten vegetables at you. And if you're right, we'll give you fresh vegetables. That's the way it works here.
Either way, we'll have soup. Okay.
Yeah, now that makes sense. Sometimes it's even better this time. It was 38 degrees here in Tucson this morning, believe it or not. It's
wow.
Of course, you got so much snow across the Far East and it's Northeast. I mean, it's really, really, really quite sad. Tim, are you going to have any free webinars coming up over the holidays that folks might take?
Sure are. Yeah, we've got some ways of connecting here. Let me give you this link here. Go to bit.ly/Tim Larry P, capital T, capital L, capital P, and that'll get you connected with everything that we've got coming up for free with the whole process here as well. Did want to share this one quick glance here at the Jupiter-Saturn alignment. This is a 20-year cycle, so the last time we got this alignment was in the year 2000, and 1960, 1980, 2000, and so forth. And this is a fairly major pattern from an astrological perspective and also from a financial perspective, because Jupiter is all about expansion and growth, and we look for higher prices with Jupiter. Saturn's about lower prices and contraction, and so these two planets are sort of doing a tug of war constantly in terms of their influences on the markets. So the two of them meet in the heavens every 20 years, and it gives us kind of a reset point in terms of our market analysis. And that's happening within hours of the exact time of that winter solstice that we just looked at. So this is a very, very powerful transition point, potential major scale inflection point in the markets that we have coming up next Monday. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that as well.
That's going to be, this is one of the reasons I got interested in astrology when Dr. Miller started to show me this stuff back in '86. I mean, I had tasted a little bit of it when I was at Drexel when Mary Rivers was in there buying silver, but that was, very short term. And, she was trading a bull market, which was real easy to see. But when I saw all this stuff that happened in December and October of 1974 start popping up again, and I wanted to bring this chart up. Norm sent us this chart. I'm going to post it. It's a Jupiter-Saturn that you were talking about. It just shows the natal chart, how the planets are lined up on the left side of the thing, and those are the kind of things that make sense to me. All this other stuff you talk about, I really don't grasp it too much, mainly because my old Catholic background, I was scared to death of it, and for a while thinking the devil was after me. And the only time anybody ever asked for,
buddy. Okay.
Yeah, I know. The only time anybody ever asked for their money back when I wrote the book Astro Cycles, A Trader's Viewpoint, was a woman from Omaha, Nebraska. She said, "You're the devil's you're the devil's servant or something like that. And I said, here's your money back, lady. And I said, you're right about that, but not for the reasons you might think. Anyway, does that make sense? Does that make sense to look at it that way? That
No, absolutely, yeah. We can look at the astrological chart, the horoscope for the moment, and that is quite an intriguing clustering effect that's going on at that time, which adds to the power and the force of the timing here as well. So what's happening here? It's unusual because Jupiter and Saturn are getting together at exactly 0 degrees of Aquarius, and that's an unusual planetary alignment in terms of the focus on the zodiac. It's the beginning of a fixed sign of the zodiac, so we're expecting this to have major impact. And of course, with these Jupiter-Saturn cycles, there have been all kinds of geopolitical dynamics with that over time as well. Between 1860 and 1960, at 20-year intervals, every U.S. president that was elected in those years died in office. And so that's one of these patterns that comes out as well.
Well, looks like Trump was lucky not to get reelected.
That could be.
Yeah, could be. Hey, listen, buddy, thanks for joining us. Happy holidays to you and your bride, and we'll have you on January the 7th.
I got it on my calendar. Okay, talk to you then.
Okay, thanks a lot. Tim Boss, Financial Cycles Weekly.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step by step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
With markets trading with extreme volatility and peaks and troughs everywhere, regardless of what you're looking at in the markets, this is a great time to see the type of analysis Basil Chapman delivers for his subscribers every market day with the Opening Call newsletter. Basil has been analyzing markets, providing his take for subscribers to his trading services since 1984. Every morning, Basil publishes an update for his subscribers, along with weekend and evening updates when warranted. The Opening Call provides traders a daily market overview with regard to the direction of the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, along with specific recommendations, including stops and targets. You also gain instant access to Basil's subscriber webinar archive from earlier this year, a dark cloud cover, and essential market analysis. Ride the Chapman wave today by signing up for the Opening Call newsletter on the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, folks, we're going to take a look at crude oil. Here's what we're looking at. Looks like we're heading towards $50 a barrel. That's only $1.50 from where we are right now. Once we cleared that 127 up around 46, 47, we had a little three drive to a top up there at 47.80. We backed off $2 a barrel, which all the corrections have been only $2 to $3, all during November, December. So we're going to have a big correction in here somewhere, but my guess is we're still heading up to this roughly $49.70 to $50 a barrel. We're getting very close. And with all these things that are happening, with these cycles that Tim were talking about, I don't understand them. All I know is I've seen them work in the past. So I'm planning my strategies around that to see how they're going to work. But as we say here in the trade, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But what you've got to be able to do is to plan your risk. And that's what you're really watching as you're doing this. So far, like we mentioned, we were saying there's resistance in that S&P at 37.12. If you did that, you got to risk about 10 points, 37.22 to take a look at it. But, those are just little things. Folks, I look at the patterns, and I don't follow the news very much. I wouldn't even known that about Pfizer unless someone had actually hadn't brought it to my attention. So those are just things that I see, and whether they mean anything or not, I don't know, but I'm giving you the best ideas of what I have. I can see what's happening on the charts. The fundamental stuff eludes me, and I want it to elude me because I don't believe them. I've seen it too many times in my career where things are so wonderful, and maybe they're not that wonderful at all. So that's just me, a cynical old dude, the old cowboy from Tucson, Arizona, wishing you all a wonderful weekend. Live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless. And we have a lot to be thankful for, and a lot of people out there hurting really badly. Try to help them if you can. Everybody that went to the show, the all-time day trading thing, really was a big help. So thank you for helping out, and we're going to have some more fun in 2021. It's going to be a whiz-bang year, boys and girls. We're going to see moves that I think are going to dwarf what we've seen so far this year. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. We'll see you on tomorrow. We'll be right back.